Welcome back!
Woo! To Shadowcasters Network presents The Shattered Isles.
We just stepped away for a few moments to take a short break. We are picking back up. The last of the kidnappers has gone down. The fat captain of the other ship, the main...
Captain Burgess.
Maybe the main guy who was the kidnapper, or the planned kidnapper, has fallen to the ground with 2 daggers in his chest and frost all over his body. Kodrog whipped out the blade. Blood's pouring out onto the ground. The princess seems to be fine, but you guys have found yourself in the strangest of places. Everything in the walls are covered with elven writing. I will let my wonderful co-GM go into some descriptions now.
Excellent. So, the tomb that you are in, because you are in the tomb proper now, the walls are covered in silk painted tapestries that are all in very good repair, though maybe worn fine with age. They depict different voidscapes, if you will, of the areas of the Shattered Isles. If you have any knowledge void, then you might be able to determine what these paintings are depicting. In the center of the room is a sarcophagus, and you are now all close enough to see it's a raised sarcophagus in stone, masterfully carved or magically formed, not 100% sure, of a human. You can tell clearly that it does not have the androgynous elven features that you are used to when you think of elves. And coming into the room, on the left is an open space where you see several cots and a closet. To the right, you see a small sitting area with rugs, large pillows, a small low-to-the-ground table, on top of which sits a hookah. And then behind that, you see another cabinet tree with a counter in front that has 2 different tea sets, like a bone china and a silver tea set. And then a cupboard, which is closed at this time.
Who would like to go first? The sound I apologize. The sound of cannon fire has not stopped yet.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so Kodrog is going to start the grim task of putting the bodies all in one place so that they can be easily extricated when we leave, because it's our responsibility to take care of them now.
I'm sorry, Kodrog. Can we... I'm trying to take you seriously. I'm a little distracted.
Kat wanted
She's got a lot to say.
give her 2 cents. She's like, why didn't you make it a cat? We talked about this.
So Kodrog's gonna start dragging all the bodies into one place, and at the same time relieving them of their valuables and setting them off to the side.
Who's the first one you drag?
I'll take the boss first.
He's wearing a chain hauberk that has padding and whatnot. As you're dragging it off, you're upset. This looks dwarven made. This is nice. Everything is riveted in this suit of armor. His mace, on the other hand, looks like cheap human crap. And he has a small duffel to one side. He has a black duck feather cloak attached to his back. And the damage you did with your knives to the chain should be repairable.
Excellent. So his dagger's not even as good as the mercenaries' daggers were?
He doesn't have a dagger. He has I apologize, it's a mace.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't even mace.
It's a small stick with metal to one end.
What's the princess's name again? Violet?
Yes.
Or is that her older sister?
No, Amber is her older sister.
Right.
Namesake to the boat you fly around on.
Yep.
The other thing that you notice as you are like looking away from the bloodshed, just beyond, to the far left or right, if you will, where the sitting area is. Beyond that is a wall that is a inlaid bookcase, and that is floor to ceiling, filled with books.
I know where Thomas is going to go after he makes sure the princess is okay.
Okay. The princess is kind of standing in shock. Her hands are kind of up, like, at her face, like,
Yeah.
her eyes are red from crying.
How old is she?
Like 12.
Okay.
Almost marrying age.
Ew.
Don't you. Catgut. Remember catgut.
Thomas is going to kneel down to her, ish, and ask if she's okay.
You killed that man.
Well, yeah, but
And you see like, and then you see like her hands like come down from her face, and they're like, and then she makes these cute little tiny fists, and her eyes just kind of go into like, good.
oh,
He was a bad man. And I don't. And you rescued me. And then she looks and she sees like the two of you, and she doesn't. But she sees Captain Harris like, Captain Harris, you rescued me. So, and then she scampers over to like the captain because she doesn't know. You know, she knows the captain because he's nobility as well. And so she like runs up and hugs. Thank you so much. Did my sister send you guys?
no.
Captain Harris would say,
And say, yes, dear, of course. We were dispatched right away. Good. This is wonderful.
I was worried I wasn't going to get found.
Yeah. I was like, I thought that they were going to take me. So he kept saying that I was worth a lot of money and that he was going to sell me off to somebody.
In Spindlehaven.
In Spindlehaven. Spindlehaven, as you all know, is the place where if you need to find something, you can get it. And if they don't have it, they will find it for you.
Okay, let's jump
Not to worry, dear.
Yes.
You are safe with us. Master Kodrog and Master Thomas are here to protect you.
And I'll do like a deep bow when my name is mentioned.
I'm just glad that you're well, Your Highness. And he will do a very gracious bow and kiss her hand, because that's what you do.
She'll curtsy back, you know.
Formalities and all.
Thomas is immediately, as they're talking, as you know, Jason is like, oh, Master Kodrog and Master Thomas, and then he says Master Thomas. Thomas is already like looking at the books, like going there, and he goes, what? Oh, yeah, type of thing.
The aloof mage.
But yeah, he'll look over those tomes and whatnot.
Okay. And Larry.
All right, Kodrog.
I'm sorry, I did want to check. Is she magically okay? Like, are there any, like... Because if I check over her magically...
Detect. You want to use your spellcraft to detect magic on her?
Yes, please.
You're gonna. Do you want to take like a 20 to make sure, like, super check? Yeah, you can do that. It's gonna take you at least a full minute.
That's fine.
Of time. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to wait?
I'll do that now, because because that guy was magical that we just fought, and I'm more worried that if they have something on her or not. So.
Yep. I'll tell you in a minute's worth of time what's going on.
Okay.
All right, so Kodrog, you drag the body off. You're like, man, this is a nice cape. It's actually not a cape; it's a cloak. It's covered in black duck feathers. You begin pulling it off. You're like, wow, this is nicely done. You know who made it? But they made a silver clasp on it to everything. This thing's got to be worth at least a couple of silver pieces to somebody.
Yeah.
And if it's magical.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it could easily be tailored for one of my stature.
Well, you're generally human-sized items have a tendency to fit you just as well as they would a human. It's just you're a bit
Okay.
wider, so you instead of taking them up height-wise, dwarves like to say we fit human stuff width-wise because you're wider. So he also has like a fanny pack.
A fanny pack?
Yeah, it's a belt
Let's
pouch.
call it a belt pouch, because fanny pack is so modern.
Belt pouch.
The image in my head was like the duck feather cloak, and he was all rugged, and then I pictured
With a
like a
bra-
pink fanny pack, and then I was like,
no.
I honestly would love to rock a fanny pack in
Yeah.
my real life. So I wrote
Okay.
belt pouch though.
All right, belt pouch. It has in it a folded up spyglass, a flask of whiskey, a D10 plus 2 rolled cigarettes, a lighter, a pack of wet matches.
stuff.
You mean like wet light matches, or
Yeah.
they're wet so they're ruined?
Wet light matches. Matches that can
Okay.
light when they're wet. Very expensive stuff. This box of 20 matches is probably like 4 or 5 copper pieces.
Oh man. How many D10 rolled cigarettes?
D10 plus 2.
D10 plus 2? I'm gonna roll that right now.
And he's got a silver holy symbol of a skull with one eye in it.
Okay, well I just got myself 10 pre-rolled cigarettes.
Sweet. You snagging his silver holy symbol too?
Melt that down.
You watched him touch it. Well, you didn't watch him. Thomas saw him touch it and heal himself.
Oh man, so like culturally or like under the laws of the society that we live in now, how bad is it to just like strip bodies like this and like take their holy symbols and things like that?
Well, take the point of view from the Dwarven Society. This is repurposing. This guy is a bad person. He died. As long as you don't leave him naked. Like, this is a tough situation, and these are valuables.
Okay.
You need to get paid. As far as it
But
goes
as long, sorry, so as long as I make sure that whatever burial price he had prepaid is taken care of, that's the most that I can be expected to cover.
he has gold earrings and gold teeth. So
Okay.
that will also cover the expenses of his burial. So do you want to pop those suckers out?
No, so anything that's meant for burial cost, I'll leave attached. to
Sure.
the- to
Yeah,
the
that's what
bodies.
people do. They just
Yeah.
I didn't pull the earrings because I want to make sure he's got a good burial.
Yep.
All right, that's fair. Mm-hmm. All right.
Sorry,
Right.
I don't mind being a scavenger, but I didn't want to be like, that guy's got a problem.
That guy has a problem.
Kodrog, you have a problem.
There is a problem. I would just want to let you know. You are in service to Princess Amber. These things are not yours.
Yeah.
Right, of course. Of
Okay,
course.
just making sure you understand that. All right, so if you guys find something valuable while you're out and about, the captain has to turn a blind eye to that, or any other crew member, because technically everything you find on these missions belongs to the princess.
Oh, fuck her. We saved her sister.
She gets to decide what to do with it. She could sell it and then give you guys
true.
the gold from it, or she can bestow it to you guys and be like, because right now you can totally use it. Like the cigarettes, she's going to ignore something like that. But like the cloak that's valuable, she'd be like, yeah, that belongs to me, but I think you should have it. Kind of scenario.
That's so.
Thomas, we have to trust to our superiors' judgment in these matters.
Oh, I mean, he wouldn't say that out loud. He wouldn't.
Obviously.
No, the princess chose him to be on the ship. He's grateful to her.
Yeah, this is a little bit different than your typical murder hobo adventure, where everything you take belongs to you. Everything you take belongs to your liege,
Liege,
until
yeah.
otherwise decided. Unless you want to hide stuff from them, and then that's your prerogative.
No,
I
Thomas
am
is going
scavenging
to.
in her glory.
Thomas will, when he's done with the princess. That sounded way wrong than I.
No, it
meant
didn't.
it.
No, it didn't.
Oh, good. When he's done checking her over, he's going to check that unholy symbol to see if it's actually magical, because
Sure.
I know the properties of a paladin But
So, you've spent an entire minute's worth of time as Kodrog's dragged the body and started filtering through the pockets. The magic in the room. The princess has been enchanted. It is a mark of this god of some type. It's not something you can't... It will wear away after a while. There's probably mark on her body somewhere to help track her or something like that. There's a magical enchantment on her, and its purpose is for detection only. The amulet that Kodrog's playing with, that's on the body of the leader, is magical. The duck feather cloak is also magical, and the suit of dwarven chain he's playing around with is also magical.
Thomas is going to look concerned for the princess being marked. Because Paige knows shit about that. I just had like Vietnam War flashbacks in my head.
Oh man.
But he'll without even looking, he'll just point over to Kodrog and go, "Those things are magical. I'd keep those." And then he'll tell Captain Harris that she has been marked, and he'll tell her that I can't do anything with it, but it will wear away. But we might be tracked. So
I think it may have been in case she ran off they would be able to find them. But regardless, we will ensure her safety and ours.
good. I've read horror stories about people being marked before, so.
Okay. John, your character Kodrog is continuing the process of moving bodies and picking through them. We'll deal with that later. This is more about you guys exploring this room. The captain says, about as far as it goes for leaving, the captain has a word of advice for that.
We should wait until the firing stops. We don't want any kind of stray fire or shots to injure us when we go back out into the main causeway.
It's fair enough.
So in the meantime, you guys are stuck here in this tomb until you can hear a period of time in which the Amber Falls doesn't open fire on the other ship. And you're asked, that's basically waiting for Fern to stop getting trigger happy. Might take a bit.
Yeah. I feel like Thomas would mention that, and he's like, well, if Gez is okay, it's gonna be another hour. But he'll go over to the bookcase after checking, and he'll start poking through there. Very delicately, if these pages are as old as I think they are.
The books are in extremely good repair. It looks like they have been well kept. The age is almost non-existent. The pages are slightly yellowed, but they feel good. They don't feel brittle. It's the more interesting thing is that there are, number one, no titles on these books. When you take one down from the shelf and you open it, it looks like these might be that they're all handwritten. There's no printed press kind of book in that you've found so far. The language you think is Elvish, but it must be encrypted somehow. Because you're not, like, when you read it as you would read Elvish, it makes no sense.
Almost like weird poetry.
Yeah. So with your intelligence, you should be able to, at least identify when something is written in code or is encrypted.
How many books are there? Sorry, I didn't mean to
Dozens.
There are dozens.
Okay.
Yeah.
All written in Elvish. To the wrong person, this is a wealth.
Or to the right person.
Either way. Person.
But the one thing that you can see is that this is not all written by one person. It looks like each individual book is written by someone else. And if you if you didn't know any better, you would think that these are journals.
Yeah.
Like, these are somebody's written accounts.
Yeah, they have dates in them.
The dates you can identify relatively easily as dates. But as far as being able to decipher what's being said, it might take you a little or a lot of bit more time to figure that out.
Well, I think Thomas is going to do that. And if he has the time, he'll I'm assuming he has paper on him, probably. He'll start copying the journals because he's not going to take anything from this tomb.
Okay.
Okay.
Thomas is too nice of a guy.
So there's the sarcophagus in the center of the room. There's the little nook over the side where the books are, and the sitting table, and the tea set, and the little shelf on the wall. And then there's a side room that has cots in it, in a tomb.
Just outside of the tomb, in the antechamber, before you all entered and killed the other man, there are 2 other rooms on the outside that the doors were closed. So, at the time you all are fighting, there's no no need to go into the closed doors, but that is something that you would have noticed. Going back out into the antechamber, there are 2 doors, one on the left and the right of the entrance going into the tomb itself.
They weren't in the initial description because it was, where are the bad guys? They're the bad guys. Throw daggers into their chest.
So Kodrog, knowing that there are 2 unexplored doors back there, after he gets the corpses in a pile, he would definitely check those out.
Okay, the other 2 guys, each of them had 4 daggers on them each, and a short sword. But there was 2 daggers and 1 short sword lost. So keep that in calculation. And we'll go
Also,
over the...
Don't forget the dead guy that's slumped over with your dagger in it, because you haven't taken that out
Oh,
yet.
3 dead guys with daggers and whatnot. We can go over the details of their equipment later. None of them had any silver, but all of them had copper, including the Burgess, and we'll go over that at the end. That's the kind of thing the princess would overlook.
All right. So you said you wanted to go out. Do you want to look at the one to the left or the one to the right of the entrance first?
Left.
Left. Okay. So the door is locked.
Oh, excellent. I am going to check and see if it's trapped.
Okay.
Let's see. Is that a...
Perception plus half your rogue levels.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, that is 27...
Oh, shit.
28.
It is not. It is not trapped at all.
Oh, okay, excellent. Woo.
Yes.
Well then, I will attempt to unlock the door.
Okay.
And I've got, thieves' tools. So, disable device?
Yes.
11.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll open it.
It's not a hard lock.
No, it's not, and it's dwarven made, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, this wouldn't be a
Oh,
dwarven
no, it
made.
wouldn't be
This
dwarven-made?
wouldn't be dwarven made. This would either be a human made lock or elf made lock. Most likely human.
Human.
Yeah.
I'm just assume dwarven locks because dwarves make all sorts of
Yeah.
intricate fun
Now
things.
this stuff they should have used chewing gum and a stick. They've been better off.
Yeah. I mean, even elvish locks are better than human locks. So, not
So
saying
yeah,
much.
so it unlocks, and as you open it, you find there are shelves of jars, ceramic jars. Some some are leaned against the wall. Those ones are very tall. They have like a teardrop kind of shape. Have you seen in the ancient Greek sea wrecks where they found the wine vase things, the big ones? Those, you see those
With markings.
Okay.
with markings on them, leaned up against the far wall, to your left, and then on the main wall, it's in front of you. It's the longer wall of the 3. There's jars of what you think might be preserves, based on what the information, because they use for these jars in front of you, they're actually using dwarvic runes, the common runes. So you can see there's different jars of preserves. One has the dwarven runes for fruits. One has for short pickles. One has so there's a wall of these preserves essentially.
Okay.
The one looks like there's wine. The larger ones that I mentioned previously, they look to be wines. Then there's also a shelf that has packaged
Leather, folded leather.
Yeah, folded leather that's kind of sealed with wax
And string.
and string.
Okay. So this looks like, a really old pantry, basically.
Yes,
Um,
in a tomb.
in a tomb, yeah. So I'm not gonna disturb anything. I'm gonna close the door back and then check the other one.
Okay. The other one, we'll say the same thing. You're able to open it up, simple
Okay.
lock. And in there, you see weapons. There's a lot of spears, there's short swords, there's a chakra set that's like hung up on the wall. There's a few different scroll tubes. You see damaged instruments, including a unstrung floor harp, and a couple of like broken lyres, and hand harps.
Maybe a lute.
Maybe a lute,
Yeah.
like a metal lute that hasn't started quite rusting, but it has started like
Corrosion.
when it loses its sheen before it
Yeah.
starts to gain rust.
Yeah. It's got a patina. with
Yes, a
age on it.
patina.
Mhm,
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word, but yeah.
Never
Okay,
heard
so
of it in my life.
is there a roll that I can make to know whether or not, like, anything about elvish burial practices, or if the practice of burying the dead with important items is like common in the void?
So
Because, like, as a player, I'm thinking like, oh, ancient Egypt, they would like bury
mhm.
food and like horses and stuff with the pharaohs because they thought they would use them in the afterlife. But I don't want to metagame that in.
Well,
I don't know if
okay.
that's like a common thing.
I'll let you decide that one.
Dwarves have a tendency to bury yourself with your more important items.
Your
Some
weapons
humans, some
the
human
things that you
societies will do that too. Some dwarf societies will do that. As far as elves go, they're aliens to you, man. You don't know what aliens do.
Okay.
Hessians have a tendency to set fire to everything and keep the valuable items for the next generation because they don't see that as useful. In fact, if you find a Keshan graveyard, that's a lie. They don't have those. Your ashes are scattered to the wind or the ocean, the dirt is soiled in. You're part of the next generation.
Okay.
Is there a role? It's a history role to know about what elf practices are.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't have knowledge history, so I could make an intelligence roll, but
We could talk
I
about
doubt
the
it's gonna
weapons
be-
in the room.
Yeah.
okay.
That's something you do understand.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do do you have a craftsmanship kind of thing, or
It'd be an intelligence based
or
if he
yeah,
doesn't.
probably if you don't, then it would be.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have like a craft carpentry, is my specialty.
Let's do just
but-
an intelligence for right now, then.
Okay. Oh man, my intelligence is high. That's awesome.
You're a smart man.
My roll was bad. 13.
So with a 13, they look like maybe they were usable at one point, but they definitely are not usable now. Do you want to maybe take a 10 or a 20 to find out more information?
Yeah. Seeing that they're weapons and they're potentially elvish weapons, I think that would be particularly interested in studying them thoroughly. So I'll take a 20 on them.
Okay.
Let's move over to Paige then.
Yep.
While he's looking at these.
Paige.
Yes, what's up?
So you've been copying over the note
Journals,
the
yeah.
journals. You can copy over. I would say if you can either copy over one full book or you can copy over several different entries in different books.
I think I'll just stick with one full book.
Okay.
Do you have Decipher Script? I don't think that's a skill anymore. I'm pulling for 5th edition. 3.5. Sorry. From 3.5.
It's not a skill. No, yeah.
Make a knowledge history roll. If you don't have that, just make an intelligence check.
How smart is Thomas? He is smart. He's a smart boy.
SMRT. I mean,
Yes.
SART.
S-M-E-R-T. Smart. Oh boy. Okay. What was my bonus? 4? 21.
Okay, so you know that if there are so many books here written in the same kind of
Scripture.
script,
Design.
and that there would have to be a cipher.
So somewhere in here,
Somewhere in here should be a cipher because they would have needed to use that cipher to write into the book. So it should be here if there are so many books using the same type of
code.
secret code.
You said there's like a writing table somewhere?
There
right?
is there's a low table that would be just you're probably sitting at it right now. There's a hookah on the table as well. So
Just push that to this side. Is there anything on the walls and or in the paintings that would give me that idea of, oh, there it is.
you should probably do a search of the room and a perception, mayhaps.
I will.
You can take a 10 or a 20. You don't have to roll the dice. If you so feel that that's an option, you want to do it. That's what's that face for?
I'm debating. Because if I take a 10 or a 20, that means I'm losing time to actually do more stuff in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there are other people in the room who may be able to assist you.
Like Captain Harris or the princess. They are able-bodied individuals. The princess has gone to school to be a princess.
Well, she has to learn a lot of things, not just princessing.
Princess school is pretty intensive.
I'll take my chances on dice. Oh! 17! 18, 19, 20, 21.
Okay. No, you can't. You don't see anything. Where are you looking? Where you are right now, where the books and the table and everything is. There's nothing there.
Nothing that
I
looks
would
like a
imagine-
cipher.
I would imagine Thomas is looking around, like, the books, because they would probably be near the books, the writing table, or the hookah lounge, and then the paintings, and then if he doesn't find anything in that room, then he'll move to the next one.
The cot-filled room?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
And or the closet. You said there's a closet nearby?
There's a cupboard that's right above where there's a counter with a couple of tea sets on it.
I'll look in there, too.
Okay. You open the cupboard. You find several different they're
Blocks.
blocks. They are clay blocks with prints indented stamp on it with dwarven runes, so common, which you would know, telling what types of teas are inside of these ceramic bricks.
It looks like a 2-pound brick of tea covered in clay, sealed permanently against the ages. One of them is broken open. Well, we'll say there's 2 closed and one that's open, and one that's been broken open has definitely turned for the worst after time. But you can see the insides filled with dark pressed tea leaves. What else is in that cupboard?
Let's
Probably
see. There is.
crystallized honey jar.
Yep, there are honey that looks like they are either mostly crystallized at this point, but you do see several different jars of honey. Some are, honey never goes bad.
Yeah.
So as long as you heat it up, it would probably melt right back into honey.
Yeah, put that shit in hot water.
Yep. And you see, wrapped in paper, what looks to be a loaf of bread.
It's
That's
pretty
probably
white,
thick,
staunch
yeah.
colored bread.
No, it's actually a dark roll.
Dark fry.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
it's probably rotten as all hell.
I don't know. Do you open it up to find out?
No.
Because you're in a tomb.
No thanks. Because I feel like Thomas is focused. He would open this and go, and then close it, and then he'd take note of the tea. Like, that is something that he would personally want to try, but, like, this is a tomb. He's not going to take anything in it. That's why he's copying the book. Everything's a trap. But after that, yeah, he'll go to that other room and to the cots and search that area too.
Okay. Let's see. I will let you take over on that one.
Okay, so walking into the room with the cots, Kodrog, you were studying these weapons, so we're going to move over to you.
Okay.
As you begin playing with the spear tips, they're reinforced. They have braces on them so that it can maybe catch a weapon as well as pull a man off a horse. You're looking at them, and one of the covers slide off. And you begin looking, none of the pins have ever been spread. None of the hammers, none of it has been hammered together solid. It is, the spear tip came off. And you're looking at the spear tip, it's not actually metal. It's been craftily painted to look like metal. All of these weapons, all their beauty, they're ceremonial at best. They could look really good. All these weapons, there's like 15 spears, and markings over each of the spear slots must mean something. And the swords are placed around. This whole room...
Yeah, everything looks just... It is all fashioned and beautiful and inscribed. Except for the chakra set. That looks like it could be battle ready.
But you're not tall enough to reach it. It's placed above the podium where the pen set sits. There's a pen set with pressed pieces of vellum tacked down to the table. So what you see is like the whole room is designed, weapons on this side, weapons on that side, centering into musical instruments, and then finally in the center, there's the chakra over it like a halo, and the pen set in the center of the room. You feel whoever designed and set this room up is they're trying to say that the center of everything is
the written word.
Yeah, the pen is mightier than the sword. Or ceremonial spear. Okay, elves are strange creatures for sure.
Did you want to try to fish down the chakra with something?
Oh, no, I'm not interested in pilfering from a gravesite.
Okay, it's the only thing in here that looks metal.
Yeah.
That looks like straight up...
I mean... So,
you could always put it back.
Yeah,
right?
Does it look like it's made from... like unique metal, or it's just like a common
you
metal?
aren't close enough to see. You gotta take it
You
down.
gotta probably take like one of the spears apart and then fish it off the wall.
All right.
And as the quote from the group
me.
is, it's a trap.
You could always ask Thomas. I have something that might help with that.
No, it's okay. Thomas is busy. I use one of my ceremonial spear friends.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry, I just...
You take the spear apart, you take the little Y, you poke up there for a little while, you pull it down. It's not tacked onto the wall, it's not permanent. You pull it down, and it has a little bit of heft to it. This is the cheesiest elvish weapon you've ever seen. Who thinks having a sharpened metal disc with a hole in it is really a good idea? Where do you hold it? It's got stupid words all over it, and as you see the alphabet is written on it, there's another alphabet on the inside, and they don't even line up in any sense.
They don't line up in any sense. Do they rotate independently of each other?
No.
No.
It's a solid.
Okay.
It is a weapon. Let me not lie to you this way. It is a weapon. If you threw this at somebody, they're going to be hit by a spinning sharp blade.
So what you see here, the being a dwarf and knowing a lot about crafting, it's an amalgam of at least 2 different types of metals.
Okay.
It's very hard on the outside edge, like very hard tempered, metal. It could be steel. It could be steel. It could be something else. You'd have to take a little more time to really look into it. And on that edge that you see, like looks like one alphabet of Elvish. Maybe, or you don't know that, but it's like it's got the alphabet that you see on the walls, right? So you see the same letters that are there, and then there's another one that has the letters inside of it, like on the
order,
inside edge.
Same order, but they're all shifted over. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, and the inside ones look like they are made out of either like a bronze. On the inside,
Yeah.
so it's softer on the inside rim, harder on the outside rim, so that should allow it to, withstand the use of it being used in battle. It's very well crafted and well balanced if you know how to use it.
But it's
Right.
elvish, and
But
elves
it's
don't know how to
elvish.
make good weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and who knows how to use elvish weapons anyways?
Right.
Their spears are all fake. All they have are these metal discs.
Exactly. sharpened dinner plates.
Okay. Well, so, I don't. I, as a Kodrog, don't see anything particularly meaningful about the two alphabets. I don't think.
Got it?
You said there's actually like writing on there,
Yeah. There's.
other than just like letters.
No.
Thomas
No,
won't read it if it's Elvish.
Well, you'd have to come out
Kodrog
and
knows there's
just
Elvish letters.
Yeah, Kodrog knows there's Elvish letters. Whether or not he knows their words is a completely different story.
Like, I can look at
Yep.
German all day. I don't know what it says. It probably says
I can
bus.
look at Russian, like with the real Russian script. Like, nope, don't understand it.
I don't know. That there's times I look at lettering and I'm like, oh, that's German, and then somebody would be like, no, Paige, that's not. I'm like, oh.
I mean,
All right.
so I guess maybe if Kodrog had some idea that letters lining up might be important, maybe he would think to say something about this particular piece of weaponry. But he doesn't right now, so.
Because Thomas hasn't leaned on some of the other people around the room and said, hey, man, can you guys
Nope.
help me find... It's like two alphabets, one next to the other, but they seem to be off. Said Thomas.
No, Thomas is in his zone. He's probably muttering to himself about like he's probably going like scripture.
Potatoes.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much. He's just
natural
going like
stew.
scripture. I need letters, and then he like.
Oh, right.
So that's basically what he's doing. What he's searching.
Okay.
The captain needs to do a perception roll to see if he hears Thomas muttering about codexes.
There you go. Yeah, somebody help out Thomas. 'Cause
Maybe.
he's not going to be the
Oh.
person to ask help, especially in his area of expertise.
I mean,
Okay, so, well, I bet by now the princess and the captain have resolved their issues, but the sounds of cannon fire still ring out.
okay.
The princess, so what does Harris want to do? The princess is going to stay next to him, but if he wants to wander around and check on his crew members.
So, he sees that Paige is kind of started to, or sees that Thomas has kind of started to wander the room a little bit with eyes just kind of looking for, opening cupboards, closing cupboards, wandering off.
Muttering
like, with
under his breath.
He's like, Thomas, is everything okay?
Yeah, I am looking for a scripture of some sort. Those tomes are coated with something, and I just need to find them. Yeah, he's like opening up the cupboards, and like, yeah, he's like looking everywhere.
Okay.
Usually they have like a scroll or something, or a book. That's usually on something or in something.
Well, the
Okay.
princess and I will help you look.
Kodrog, you heard that, but that doesn't make any sense to you?
Oh. It's like, wait, you're looking for a scroll?
Something with letters on it and or in it. It's usually in a scroll. It's usually on paper.
What if it's got two alphabets on it?
That would be a scripture.
All right. Well, wait, hold on, and I'll jump down out of the the weapon pantry.
The captain and the princess have taken off into the other room, with the cots, and are looking through the closets and finding just the bedding that would be for the cots that are laid out. There's 6 of them in the room.
The princess finds a drawer in the shelf that's filled with small human dolls. And she's kind of puzzled as she pulls one out and shows the captain. Like, look at this. There's dolls in this drawer.
Interesting.
Kodrog, you come into the next room with your chakra
Yeah.
weapon pantry.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll like energetically hand it up to Thomas and say, maybe you can tell me how that works, Mr. Elfblood.
Mr. Blood. Oh yeah.
Is it the actual scripture I'm looking for?
Yeah, it's,
Like if
you
I
see it-
actually use
yeah,
it?
you're smart enough to realize this is the cipher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show where the two alphabets are on the different metals.
Yeah, Thomas says, yeah, sure, I can show you. And he'll like take down his journal that he has the handwritten stuff and the actual tome that he was copying from, and he'll start trying to decipher it and teach Kodrog how to do this.
As you open it up, you begin, okay, well, this one, and you've been reading it out and say, we arrived here during the early part of spring. The other ship didn't make it. They caught up. We lost 25 in that vessel. We have 15 now. Hopefully, we can make it beyond this point without them catching us once again. My youngest is worried. My eldest this year takes up the blade to defend our cause. We are heading to a private place where we can hide out, a place of refuge. The next date, as you begin reading, we found it. It's a quiet place on the backside of a hold. This place is sweet. Someone has left many surprises for us. I found tea and truffles. We will make sure to restock it as much as we can before we leave. This man was wonderful. I wish I had met him in life. The next entry says, we've been here for 2 weeks as we wait for the next ship to pass, or our ship to at least come close. Still nothing. Plenty of food, though. That's what you start translating.
Yep.
Somebody's journal. Do you want to pick up another one?
Yeah, Thomas will move to the next one.
Do you pick up actually one that's closer to the top? Maybe it's a little older. And as you pull it back down, it tells the story of a human man who saved a city, a town, of their kin, who rescued them from certain doom and brought them to a place of refuge.
But you see, when we was writing all this, we didn't actually name him.
We didn't.
We wanted some help with that.
Audience?
We need a hero's name.
A hero of a human who sacrificed a lot. A wealthy merchant from the Lycannian Nebula. He came to this place, and this is what Thomas is now reiterating. This Lycannian served the last 35 years of his life hiding elves. Mm-hmm. And now...
And this place was one of the places that he was able to keep elves secret while he arranged further transport to places that will be more permanent refuge for them as they moved. He did this, like I said, for 35 years of his life. When he finally passed, the elves who knew him best decided to make this point of refuge his tomb, so that all elves who pass through can also pay respect to him.
I love that name, by the way.
Fairmore. I think we didn't take... Lunar made some suggestions last time, and she came in second, so I think we should take her name first this time. What do you guys think?
Yes.
Fairmore sound good for the Lycannian traveler, the Lycannian merchant?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Through the reading,
Write
you
it
find
down.
out he was a silk merchant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Noting the silk
And
tapestries.
you realize that the main tapestry on the long wall is actually a painted silk tapestry of the Lycannian Nebula, as it was a couple hundred years ago.
All right. So this knowledge is passing around. Kodrog, you have mathematics, right?
Yeah.
You have knowledge of the void, right?
No.
But you have mathematics.
Yes, I have knowledge navigation.
All right. Knowledge navigation, roll. Or you can take a 10 or 20.
You know what? I'm going to take a 10.
That gives you a what?
That gives me a... Gosh, I was just looking at it. 16.
These star charts are really accurate. And in fact, you notice that along the bottom half of these beautifully done wall hangings, there's a meter. And by meter, I don't mean like a meter stick or anything, but marks showing distance, and the distance you think is accurate. By what limited knowledge you have of star charts, these wall hangings are all maps. And then you catch it. Several of the star charts, several of the stars have lines going through them. And those lines are actually arrows pointing in a direction.
Oh, man. routes, like special
Yes.
secret routes?
Yeah, you notice these don't follow any known trade winds, or if they do, they only show it for a short period of time. And Thomas, as you're reading and you continue to translate, you're seeing Kodrog walk around the room. He's entranced with the murals on the silk at this point in time.
Yeah.
You're now starting to talk about this guy's silk trade and how he worked diligently to save lives. And people talk about how meeting him, one elf says she wished she stayed behind to become his wife because of all the people, because she thought she was so beautiful for the things he was doing. He died not in combat, he died of old age. And so they decided that they were going to build this place for him, a refuge. And it's a refuge that luckily no one could get into unless they're elven.
Man, I got in.
The door
I
was
must be
open.
elven.
The door was already open.
The door is open to
Oh.
this chamber.
So I'm gonna try and find some vellum or parchment and some ink and something that I can start like copying these star charts onto.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thomas,
Well,
what do
there
you want
was
to
the
do?
pin set and the vellum in the other
Oh,
room
yeah.
that you could bring
Oh
in.
yes, I will have to borrow it from the weapon pantry.
Thomas. Thomas is taken back by the moment of realization where he's at.
Well, it's more of I think Thomas is just gonna kind of he's gonna say it out loud, but it's more like thinking aloud. And he'll just say, "I wish our society wasn't so bloodthirsty to hunt elves."
It's not our society that's the problem. If the Republic didn't exist, the elves would still be here.
It's just a shame that they had to go in hiding. But if they're actually still alive and in that refuge, I do not want anyone to find out where they are.
Kodrog, at this, as you're drawing them down, you realize this is a map in a direction. The back end of the map, which goes around the entire room, there's a section of the silk curtain that has been ripped down. So wherever the map goes, it's missing.
Okay, so like there's no remnants of the silk tapestry or anything on the ground below where it should be hanging.
You're looking and
No. As you look back up, you see that looks like it's a fine cut mark that went through the top. A jagged cut mark, but cuts nonetheless, instead of just being torn down or falling down by age. Somebody intentionally cut this part of the tapestry down.
Oh man.
that doesn't mean you can't copy these star charts.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be valid. You can add them to your star charts. As a soon-to-be sailmaster, as soon as you become a sailmaster, you'll have these to add. But sadly, you'll have no knowledge. You have the third to the last jumping point to where the elves went.
Yep. I'm gonna copy them all.
That does not sit well with me.
It's okay, I'm fast.
No, I mean,
Don't worry.
I meant the whole tapestry.
Pulling off one of the last books of the journals as you flip through your curiosity, because you've got to a point where it seems they've run out. So you go to the last one, you start reading, and it talks about their journey, how this poor girl, being young, had lost her mother and father, how she had become captured in the camp, but then rescued by others. She speaks of elves who came in the night, whose eyes glue of red, who could fly through the skies on nothing but pure magic, who fed
Vampires.
on the blood of humans.
Yes! I guessed, I'm sorry.
And when they offered her a chance to become immortal with them and fight against the common enemy, she said no. And so these elves that had chosen a darker path turned away. And she, through the travels, ends here. And as she speaks, she talks about how this place is it. We are the last. We need to, and she's decided we need to make sure that no one knows where we're going. It's time to make this rest stop along the route useless. She talks about how they're going to take whatever they can, leave a few things just in case, but she's going to destroy the map. She's going to destroy
okay.
it and take with her stuff. And luckily, no one can actually get in here, but at some point, someone will find it. They'll try to break in. It's best if they don't have a final path to get after them.
Thomas will look extremely relieved after that.
Yeah.
After reading that, he'll be like, "Oh, thank the gods," and just like hug the book.
You've now got to the point where you can read this altered Elvish language without needing to write everything down.
Yes. I'm so smart.
So you are reading stuff. The Princess Violet has taken one of the dolls that was in the thing and is kind of holding on to it and just kind of like, this
Playing with it.
Yeah. But she, and as she comes out, she brushes her hands along the tapestries. And so
Because it moves, you know?
You know, it moves. It's silk. It's soft. The paint, is still, everything is still kind of supple. There's no cracking. It's just as if this place was like a magical time capsule. Everything here has just stayed as it was. No matter how long it's actually been. So she just brushes along the top. She gets to the wall that contains the larger Lycanian nebula, and as she brushes her hand across the thing, she stops in the middle and pushes her hand through, and there's a space.
And then it pushes back.
The
Curtains be moved toward her.
Wait,
like it's billowing.
oh, like there's a
Something.
secret
it?
door.
Kodrog, you were standing there no more than 2 minutes ago. You kind of walk back over to where she's at, but you feel it. There's now air coming away from the wall, but you were right there.
Oh my gosh. So I go up under the curtain or up under the tapestry to see what's back there and kind of push the princess back at the same time as I'm going under.
There was a wall there. You saw it. You're not stupid. There's no wall. The wall's gone, and beyond where the wall was, and you saw it with your eyes.
Where the wall was opens into a very large lit space.
The main center of the room is dominated by...
Yeah. So you see that there's a what do you call those things where there's like a ledge but not really, like a walkway, a catwalk. There's a catwalk that goes from there out for about 10 feet, then it goes like a U shape, and like it's surrounding whatever's in the center of this room. And whatever is in the center of this room, from where you're standing right now, you're not sure what you're looking at.
It's odd shaped, it's tall, it's got bits sticking out in places that makes it an odd object to be inside of a building. It's wooden. It looks like it's wooden. Maybe that's wood. That's really smooth, bright wood.
So, yeah, I'm gonna take a couple steps forward so that I'm in the...
so that you're on the catwalk?
Yeah, but still have 1 foot in the room, so that if there's some kind of a door, it's not going to close on me.
The captain falls like, wait, don't go in yet. So let's make sure that we know what we're doing first. So he comes in and he's kind of standing in the in between now, blocking. It should something shut, so you can get out.
Yeah, exactly. Because this just happened. I mean, where the hell did this come from? You didn't hear anything.
Yeah, no. So I'd inside my own head, I was like, do I call the captain and Thomas? No. Let me poke my head in and see what's there, and then I'll call them, because I don't want any.
The captain has been watching the princess very closely, so that's where he's at. He's making sure that she is
good.
Safe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so the captain's gonna hold the door for me.
Yes.
Right.
Even though there's no door there now, but he's gonna make sure that nothing comes down, or at least that you can get out. Yeah, he'll hold the line.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I'm real trepidatious in my forward progress. I am not in a hurry. to get out there. I'm like inspecting everything as I go.
Thomas,
Yes.
you saw this. You're sitting there reading through books, and all of a sudden you hear the commotion, and out of the corner of your eye, you watch Kodrog walk into the wall.
I will check that shit magically first.
All right, make your spellcraft.
Spellcraft. 9, 8, 9, 10. Oh my god, that was perfect. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
No, there's no magic. If there is magic, it's more powerful than you can tell.
Well, I'm gonna assume that it is magic, because if there's no mechanisms or anything like that.
Because elves.
Well, yeah, that, and if Thomas kind of like looks at it and like senses and kind of looks around, he already kind of knows that this whole area is magical from my first check. So like, I don't know. To him, it's just common sense to be like magic.
Okay.
But yeah, he'll if there's no more books that indicate what this is, like if he'll flip through some of these journals carefully, to tell if any of them say like, oh, this is this or this is that.
There's a lot of books. It's going to take you a bit.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean-
then I'll walk over. I'll check
Okay.
it out.
Okay.
Grabbing the silk tapestry and pulling it back to look in, you see the same room, catwalk, U-shape.
Yeah. And Kodrog, as you get closer, it's a ship.
You have to stop because you're looking at the mid part and you look up because it goes beyond where the ceiling where you at extends up. It extends out. The wall across the way looks like it's got huge hinges on it, like it pops open. This is a docking bay for a vessel.
And the vessel is currently in port.
The room is lit. It's still kind of dark. You're getting an idea. The sails are rolled up. It has 2 masts and a foremast as well. It has the forecast. The ship is small. It's
Yeah.
a small yacht. It's well designed. You've seen a lot of ships in your life. You've never seen a ship like this, and it's long.
It is where the Amber Falls is long and lean. This is short and sleek, and just it looks like a piece of art
Oh yeah.
in life.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
this looks
It looks like it's got gold for railings.
yeah,
man.
it's got filigree along the railing. It's got this beautiful what do you call those things at the front where they're at the bow? Those people.
Like a prow something, I don't know.
But it's got this beautiful elven, not elven, but it's got this beautiful tree kind of dryad, I guess is the best thing you could say. It's like that curls out, and instead of wings, it's this beautiful silver filigree that looks like leaves that run all the way down the side of the not the bow, of the hull. There we go. That's the word.
Oh. Figurehead.
Figurehead. Yeah.
There you
Thomas,
go,
do you want to
figurehead.
figurehead? Thomas, do you want to
Thank
step
you.
in, stay
Thank
out?
you. Thank you, guys.
Oh yeah, he'll step in.
Okay. The princess will grab a hold of your hand and hold on to you as you step in. As you two step in, lights that you did not know exist, start coming on.
I will check it magically.
Yeah, they're magical lights.
Okay.
There are continual light spells across the room.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. We must have stepped over through like a rune or something to trigger them to turn on. Thomas will start explaining.
Kodrog's already in this room,
Could be.
Yeah.
so you guys
not
must have
once-
stepped on something.
Not
Yeah.
once ever have I seen a ship crafted as this one is.
You know, I think that dwarf that was trying to not sell us this mine is missing out on a huge profit if they just looked a little deeper.
Maybe we should snatch it up then, says the captain.
Actually, I'm thinking of that. Not for profit, but just for protection. I don't want anybody to sell this thing off or destroy anything.
The princess is excited. She moves up to Kodrog, stands a short distance away, looks at you, and she'll ask, as she's pointing at it,
Is that a ship?
It is, and okay, so her name is Violet,
Violet,
right?
yes.
Princess.
Violet
Princess
Kadaph.
So Kodrog will kneel down to the young princess and say, yes, it is. And if I may be so bold, it's just your size.
Do you mean I can keep it?
Oh my god.
In her excitement, she begins descending the catwalk stairs, heading toward the side ramp that accesses the boat.
This is my ship. This is my ship. It's so
Okay.
pretty, just like
Thomas
me.
As
is
she-
gonna.
The boat
Thomas is gonna
comes
kind of, like,
alive.
walk up with her.
The boat
my
comes
God,
alive.
Is it a mimic?
You see the sail itself seems to gain light. Strange, patterned light across the fabric of the sail.
The sails are not made of canvas. The
Something
sails seem to be made of this fine woven gold.
As she approaches,
From the
docking
distance
ramp
that you
extends
see.
from the side of the ship to launch. She stops and kind of like fearful at this point in time, realizing what she's done. She's in a strange place. She's near something strange, and everybody who's supposed to protect her is over there. She gets fearful.
She turns back to you all, like, with the eyes wide as saucers, like, clutching the little doll that she took from the sleeping area.
Oh my gosh. I'll say, Princess, perhaps one of us should check it out first.
She will retreat to Kodrog's position.
Thomas will look over to Captain Harris, and in a low whisper, he'll go, "Do you know anything of their bloodline?"
As she leaves and heads back to Kodrog, the sail stops glistening. The lines disappear. The loading ramp retracts into the boat.
Yeah.
So, the captain, very, very quietly, he gets close to you, very close to you. He's like, so that way he cannot be overheard.
Yeah.
As far as I am aware, both of the the king is fully human, and so is his new wife. New wife, because this is the newest wife of, several, but...
Yep.
Yeah, that's what Thomas will exactly do. He'll turn to him and go, "Yeah, new. When did he have the daughters?"
Well, Amber comes from a previous queen.
Who lost her head due to other complications.
But Violet, he's been married to Violet's mother, the queen, for at least 13 to
And
14 years.
Her bloodline?
As human as they come, so I was told. So we know, as actually what he would say.
So,
Thomas will, I'm sorry, Kodrog.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, so Kodrog, not trying to eavesdrop on the conversation, would start approaching the walkway to see if it would extend for him as well.
Yeah, good. That's what Thomas was going to experiment on.
So you keep the princess behind you for safety, and you approach, and nothing happens.
I knew it! Thomas doesn't do that. Thomas just goes, and he playfully slaps Captain Harris, and he goes, "I knew it."
So the captain will put his hand on your shoulder, trying to calm you. Maybe it doesn't, but he's like, "Shh, we mustn't bring attention to this, Thomas. This could be dangerous for the princess."
As a princess, and with elven blood, oh my god, how valuable she could be to the right person.
We
All right,
can
Kodrog, you can make the jump between the boat and
Yeah.
the edge. It's not a problem.
Oh yeah, I'll totally jump it.
Okay, you
I
make
mean,
it.
I'll look
gotta-
back. I'll look back at the captain, and if he's not giving me a no look,
He's not.
I'm jumping it.
All right, the princess is watching you, though. It's an easy jump because you're no gravity, because you've left that gravity area. So you jump over, you land, you grab a hold, you start working around. The wood doesn't creak as much as you would expect. This place is really well. You are, as a carpenter, are going, wow, did they grow this out of one tree?
Yeah.
Are there like grindstones on the deck, or did the elves have some other means of gravity?
So, you check and you see, yes, they are grindstones, but they are cut so thin. They're like paper. You're cut so thin that you can still see the grain of the wood through them.
Wow. It's
it's almost like it's painted on, and it's the whole deck that's like that.
I wonder if that's actually possible. I'm sorry, Sorry, go ahead.
No, so as you walk on it, your heels clack because I'm assuming you're still wearing the grindstone boots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so your feet clack onto and connect to the deck just as if any other piece of grindstone would.
It's gotta be. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
As you're on the ship, to the left, you can see one of the masts. To the right, you can see the other mast. There's a foremast as well. Everything here makes sense. You understand everything. But the forecastle seems to have a dip cut into it, and the I forgot what it's
There's
called.
the steering wheel.
There is.
The tiller. The controller for the tiller.
Yeah.
You know.
The navigation thingy-majigger.
The steering wheel.
Steering wheel. That's not what it's
steering
called.
wheel of a boat.
I'm trying to think of it too, and I can't. I know it, but it's not coming to me. Mast? No.
No, not rudder.
I mean, I think it is.
It might be the tiller.
The tiller is the actual thing that goes in the water.
But I thought that was the rudder.
No, that's the rudder. That's the rudder.
Then
anyway.
the tiller is the
Welcome
handle
to
that moves it.
Pathfinder, where we discuss ships.
Yeah. Somebody correct us and just chat.
Yeah. It sits beside or on top
Helm.
of helm.
Helm! Sorry.
Thank you
Continue.
so very much. What you see here is for people who forget.
Words are hard, guys. Come on.
The helm sits on in a box, and instead of just like on a post.
Yeah, and so the box that you see is actually that it's very flat, and it looks like it's the top of it is made of obsidian. It's black and shiny and reflective.
And the helm itself sits in this black obsidian material, and it's not made. It looks like it's made out of bone, ivory. It's very nice.
It's very beautiful.
Very nice. Everything about this boat is nice.
No expense spared with this yacht man.
The toilet seats are gold.
Yeah.
No, they're not. That would just be cold and painful.
So this helm box thing is like absolutely unusual. Never seen anything like it.
As best as you can think is some sort of anti-ballistic shielding, so in case you're piloting it, it will protect you from the waist up. That would be dumb. But maybe you could duck down behind if people were shooting at you, but this ship has no weapons that you can see.
Yeah.
God, I hope this thing's going to get torn to pieces by one cannon blast.
Okay. So I'm going to note that in my mind as something to go back to, because first I just want to make sure the ship is safe for the princess to board.
It seems perfectly safe.
There is a porthole to go down into the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will go down into the boat.
Thomas,
alone.
Jason?
As far as we know, it could just be a royal bloodline, and that's what we will tell her if she asks.
Thomas has the look on his face where he doesn't really agree, but he'll just nod and go, all right.
It's
just call her
safer.
special.
It's safer that way. For all of us.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes. And then, like, because he's very close to you as he's talking to you, so it's like heads together, kind of like.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine as there's this locking eye, like, connection, making sure that they both understand each other, Thomas just kind of goes, I'm gonna go look over here.
Man, I just want to let you know, Captain Harris, after sweating in combat, smells really good. Okay, I'll leave you with that. Go, Drog. You move over to the hatch, you grab a hold of it. It's well crafted, it's easy to get open, and as you pull on it, it seems to push itself open and hold itself open. There's some sort of mechanical spring mechanism. Below you, you see an underdeck. It's not very big. This is a very shallow boat, so it's not going to do well in deep. Well, it will do well in deep, flat water, but it's not going to do well in high, raging water. But as you're looking into it, you peer in from the light that's in here, the dim light, because remember, the princess has retreated, so the light's dimmed as well. You're using your dwarven vision. You begin looking around. There are mechanisms down here. Mechanical pipings, metallic-looking pipings that run from the front to the back of the boat. Things that your dwarven mind does not seem to understand. To the left, you see they run toward the masts and are on the length of the body well of the ship. And to the right, they run back to another room. A room inside this tiny deck. Now, you could climb down in there and shuffle around if you want to. But so far, you're seeing some storage space. It's not a lot. This ship is not designed for storage space.
Right, no. So in my mind, it's designed for speed, maneuverability, and looking like a baller.
Like,
So,
look, it looks. If there's no weapons visibly right now, it's probably just meant for travel. But I highly doubt it's just meant for travel. I'm sure that if we get the princess closer, we'll see more of it.
Do you want to go into the lower decks back chamber?
Yeah. Well, because so there's the tube that runs
Tubes.
fore and aft. Tubes that run fore and aft.
Yeah.
Okay. But I know that there are masts that come out of the side because it's a void.
Yeah, you see them. You see them inside with you,
Okay.
the mast running the length of the well itself. And you see hatches down the way that look like they can open and close. And there are mechanisms attached to the hatch, just like this one, but more so. Your dwarvish mind is running over the mechanisms that are at this point in time. These tubes that run are a little bit smaller than your balled up fist in diameter. So whatever's running through them might just be like water or something. Like
Okay.
plumbing.
But yeah, so I feel like that is the most confusing part of this whole setup. So I'm going to go back to where they all lead, see what's going on.
All
back
these
there.
pipes lead into the walls of this back housing. When you crawl into it, you see what I'd best described as two large, crunched up windmills. Large, metallic-looking chambers, glass chambers off to your left-hand side, barely filled with like this glowing
blue
stuff.
Yeah.
It you don't know what it is. So imagine a glass milk jug with just like half an ounce of this like blue stuff in the bottom of it, and it's metal capped on either side. There are 4 of these.
Okay.
And they seem to run from that into these tubes, as well as these boxes that are attached to these folded up windmills. And then you realize the back of the ship has hinges, and so the back of the ship will actually open up. So
An extra propelling system?
So you have never seen anything like this. You're not sure
Yeah.
exactly what you're looking
Never
at.
seen anything like it. Never
So
seen anything
imagine
like
if
it.
you, John,
Never seen
had found an alien spaceship that had been parked and the aliens were gone, and you walked in to try to figure stuff out. That's what
Yeah.
you're. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I get it. And so I'm thinking that these glass milk jug things are like fuel canisters that are empty. But I don't know. Like
No, that's fine. Fuel is a
Yeah.
thing you understand. You have heard the stories of engines that take in something like alcohol and turn it into rotation. You've seen water mills that spin and consistently use a water hammer. You've seen mechanisms.
Yeah.
You understand about technology and stuff. It's just you're a carpenter and a traveler and a fighter. That's not your profession.
Yeah. I'm not a fuel engineer.
Exactly.
Thomas will call out to Kodrog if it's like, is it safe? Can we board?
Something happened.
Yeah. I'll crawl out from the back room and I'll poke my head out of the hatch and I'll be like, please, because I need some other eyes. Tell me what they think this is.
Thomas will gently take the hands of the princess, reassuring her that it's okay, and board with her.
All right,
Ooh.
as you walk.
Thank you, Unreal, for following. We appreciate it.
Heck yeah! Woot! Thanks to
Nice.
Unreal. We hope you are enjoying the show. As you approach, it extends. It's smooth. It makes no noise. As the princess is coming down the stairs and she begins crossing onto the boat, the doors, the wall where you guys walked through, that wall closes like a snap and makes no noise.
It doesn't even make a sound of connecting. It's just...
As you walk onto the boat, the sails begin to illuminate. John, down here where you're at, things begin to light up. Tiny little lights are spaced across this area, and they all begin to illuminate.
Oh, I'm like hyper focused on what these lights are doing, and if they look like they're turning on in a pattern that moves towards that end room where all the pipes go, I'm gonna jump back there when the lights are getting toward.
All right, you do so. There's dim lighting in this back room. Nothing is active. Nothing is doing. It's all still. Just a few pinpricks of light have appeared in the room. It's like they've been embedded into the wall. These tiny little continual light spells that are just shedding just enough to see this room. These are giant gearboxes, like windmill gearboxes, attached to something else, like some sort of engine attached to those things on the wall. That might just be fuel. As you walk on to the boat, what do you and the princess do?
Thomas is just looking around at first. He doesn't know anything about ships.
Okay.
The princess
He knows the
then
basics.
scampers onto the ship, and she's touching like the railing of the boat, just like letting her fingers run across it. She's looking over the side of it, looking at all of the pretty silver leaf filigree that's on the sides of it. It's so pretty. What's over here? And so she begins scampering around the boat like children are wont to do. And
then she yells, I'm going to...
It's like, I'm gonna steer the boat! And so she...
No.
So she scampers up to
Thomas
the front.
immediately like stops her, and he's like, "No, all right, let's just."
Make a grapple check.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Do that.
You're a
Okay.
wizard. You're not designed for combat.
I know, but I am an adult man.
Try to snag an excited child.
That's
Who's been
That's a
through
sin.
like the worst part of her whole life being kidnapped, and now you're trying to like grab a hold of her.
Roll.
it's
Do
more
it.
of like
Do it.
I'll describe it if I actually succeed.
There we go.
I'm just rolling a d20. I don't really know what I'm doing. I got a 17.
All right, that'll stop
Yeah,
the
that'll
princess.
still stop her.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the 20 and put it back on my desk. He goes over, and as she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go steer the ship," he like kind of playfully picks her by the waist and spins her around, almost like he's dancing with her.
Aww.
And he just kind of like sets her down as he kneels with her, and he goes, "How about we just look? We don't really know what this thing can do just yet."
So she puts her hands around like, I am Princess Violet Kadaph, and I can do what I want.
Thomas looks over at Jason, like, "Help me out here."
Come on, bro.
Like, we both know that if she touches that shit, we're off.
So, seeing your look of plea, Captain Harris will come over and kneel before her. It's like, Your Highness, this is a very new and exciting boat, but we aren't sure what everything does yet. We need to make sure that it's safe for you to be able to steer the boat, even in jest. And so she has her tiny fist just like by her side. Okay. But can I at least go look at it? And then Jason, like, making prostrations, like, "Of course, Your Highness. I will escort you myself." And he puts out his arm for her to take, very gentlemanly-like, and he escorts her up to the helm.
As they're walking away, Thomas gives Jason a look and just mouths, like, "If this shit flies, I'm blaming you."
He flashes you a dashing grin, like, "It's all part of the adventure, honey."
All right.
And Thomas will blush and be very shy at that.
All right, so you hanging out and talking to Kodrog in the hole, or are you going to go with them to the
Yeah, I
helm?
think after that, Thomas will go with Kodrog.
As they walk up and look, the captain says that helm. They look at the helm. It seems to be a normal helm without any questions, and I'm sure she wants to touch it. Probably going to tell her no. Yeah,
Probably.
let's just wait for a
Just
minute.
We'll wait for Kodrog because Kodrog is very smart. And he's
right.
a very good engineer.
Kodrog, these are engines of some type that handle a gearbox that maneuvers these folded up looking panels of leathery material. Those look like hatches that seem to open through the back of the ship. This looks like these rods will push these things out if we could open the back of the ship. These are mechanisms that seem to attach outside the ship to the running docks along the side. All of this seems to be powered by these engines and whatever that stuff in the chambers are. That's all you've got. That's all you can figure out, but you don't understand much more than that. And then something about those engines attaches to these pipes that run along the ship that go to the other sails. But you do see control mechanisms coming through the ground for the rudder, the roof for where the rudder attaches. You can see that it goes back out to where the rudder is. Looking out the back end of the ship from what you can see where the rudder is at, because there's openings. This ship has openings. These back doors look like they seal almost perfectly, so this ship is seaworthy. As you move, go ahead.
It's watertight when it's closed, so there has to be like an important reason that these open for void travel, right?
That's a wonderful estimation. I like that. Yeah.
Is there anything about this room that I'm in that's like I don't know, like maybe has like conical devices that point out towards the opening?
Yes,
the
these
opening?
collection of these fan-like plates, these things, these rounded they're conical in shape. They point back to that back hatch. And they're attached to the gearbox. And as you're looking at it, you look back toward the actual wall. You see that over the entranceway that you came in, there seems to be a selection of switches. You know what a switch is.
Yeah,
there are
so
three of them.
It's like a control panel that's got switches on it,
Yes.
right? Oh, man. I have got to go investigate those switches.
Sure.
What does this do? What does this do?
All right, switch number 1.
Is there any labeling?
Yes, it's an elven.
Oh. I didn't bring my decoder ring.
If Thomas is with him, though, I wanted.
Oh, so you went down in there. So at this point,
Yeah.
you're looking at the switches like, oh, then you see Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas, I need you to read these labels.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I need to
Thomas
know what
looks
these
up.
switches do.
Thomas will look up and read them.
One says bow connection with the word underneath it saying door.
Bow connection door.
Bow connection. Right. What about this one? And I point to the next one in line.
Thomas will read it.
Aft connection anchor.
Aft connection anchor.
Right, the aft anchor release. Okay, what's this one? And I point to the last one in line.
Power.
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 I love this. This is awesome.
Thomas just raises an eyebrow at him and he goes, "What are you thinking, Kodrog?"
So Kodrog looks over and up, because you're taller than me, grabs you by the shoulders. Thomas, this is some kind of magnificent engine. It takes material in through the back, feeds it through the ship, and then expels it through the rear, and powers it through the void.
So, like a natural boost?
Like a technological boost.
Neat. Thomas just
And,
gonna
and like the excitement drains Kodrog's face. Neat. Kodrog turns back. Sad that Thomas is not as excited as he is. One of us should go tell the captain.
I'll let you be alone with the engines. I'll go tell. And Thomas will walk off and reiterate to the captain what they found.
All right.
Excellent.
What does Harris say to this?
Harris is quite interested in the technology. He will go down and find out from Kodrog himself.
Oh,
What
I'll
this
stay
all
with the
means.
princess and make sure she doesn't touch anything.
Okay.
Oh, so the captain comes down.
Yes.
And Kodrog pops out of the back compartment, and he's like, "Captain, you have to see this." And he'll run up to the front of the ship and like show the pipes coming in, from where he assumes the bow hatch is somewhere around there.
I forgot to mention there seem to be extra sails at the front of the ship as well, so there's extra supplies, air quotes, up here too. So you probably wouldn't have seen them if you were all the way in the back all the time. So, anyways, continue.
Okay. And then I'll run back and show him all the pipes that come back and explain to him how when the ship was powering up, all the lights started to come in, and I jumped into the engine room, what I'm calling the engine room, and to see what happened. And these empty canisters, they have to be some kind of fuel canisters. I'm not sure how it all connects in, but then come up and look at these levers, Captain. And then he'll explain what each of the levers are and say, so I believe this has got to be some kind of elvish, magical void travel technology.
So, the captain, seeing how everything is up on top deck, will say, "Is like, perhaps. It looks as though the ship should be void-worthy without all of this stuff down below."
I want to say, I apologize, I said the word power for the last switch. It should say the word sun.
Oh,
And right now it's in the moon position. Just, that's the wording. I forgot. It's good. We can move forward. So,
okay. Yeah.
realizing that the top ship was more seaworthy, you don't need
Yeah.
all this.
Yeah. So it's like I'm sure that the ship should be void-worthy without this. So, and then he leans in close. So what I'm saying is that we have time to figure this part out, but we could still fly the ship without it.
Oh, Captain, she'll fly without this.
Excellent.
Kodrog looks... He's got the biggest shit-eating grin on his face.
So the captain, looking at how excited Kodrog is, will look at him dead serious in the face, says, "Make it so." You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh my god. One of these
Hi,
days.
Captain! And he, Superman flies off to get the ship ready.
All right. So you begin prepping the sails, lowering them.
Well, Kodrog is now the sailmaster, so he's the one that needs to be telling people what to do to make this thing go.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, yes, I agree. However, first he has to acquaint himself with all of the bits to the ship so he can adequately describe people what their tasks need to be.
Well, thankfully, once you come back on deck and you just kind of put out the whole, special weird engine thing out of your mind a little bit, it does look like your basic void-faring thing. The sails in the front should open really nicely. The sails on the top, should open to assist. Looks like most of the power is going to come from the sails in the front, from the bow section. It's just a very small, more delicate version of what you're already working with as far as the rigging goes.
Excellent. So everything else is standard.
So instead of 5 to 9 people to work the sails in the Amber Falls, you only need 1 or 2.
Yeah. Much smaller boat, much easier to work with.
Excellent. Okay. Well, so coming back up on to the top deck, remembering that this is just a ship. This is just a ship with a secret. nothing else. Everything works the same. It's got all the same knobs and widgets. It's gonna be piece of cake. And then he remembers, oh yeah, there's a gun battle going on outside. So he's gonna take a moment to. Oh wait, the door closed behind us.
So you're stuck in this room unless you can figure out how to open that door again.
Probably the
Okay.
princess.
Or open the other door.
Yeah, we have. So basically, we just have to sail the ship out of here.
So we're taking this thing.
Oh yeah, we're gone in 60 seconds.
Moral of the story is we're taking this thing.
We'll leave
God,
the
in
tomb
60
stuff,
minutes.
but this is a little special. It's not in the it's not really in the tomb, right,
Yeah.
guys? Right?
Thomas isn't gonna agree with anything. He'll just more of likely stand there and let things happen, but he'll give like a disappointed like shake of his head to them.
I mean, you're here. You're still part of the mummy's curse. So
Great.
As
Thank you for
Kodrog
that.
begins running around the ship, looking at things and checking things, the princess comes up to him and asks, "Can you make it fly?" Curious of your actions.
With like eyes wide, like excited, like you can do this because you're smart and you're an engineer and you can
Because you're a
make it.
dwarf.
And because you're a dwarf and dwarfs know things.
right. So okay. I'll kneel down. I, Princess Violet. We can make it fly,
We can?
but first we have to figure out how to open to the void so that we can sail her.
Just think
And
happy
like,
thoughts.
so like Kodrog is like, she has got some crazy magic stuff like going on with the ship. Maybe she can just think the door open.
So, the princess, she's not stupid. She knows that the ship is, like, kind of reacting to her in some way. And so she squints and puts her hands on her hips. And then she marches past Kodrog and goes to the front end of the ship and just stares at the bay, what would be essentially the bay doors. And be like, open sesame.
Thomas is just watching this.
I command you, open sesame. Right? That's what you're supposed to do. I heard it in a story once. I am Princess Amber. Not Amber. I am Princess Violet Kadaph, and I command you, as your princess, to open this door.
Princess, if I may be so bold to ask or suggest something.
Yes, Master Thomas.
If one was to man the helm to navigate this thing out, perhaps that has a mechanism or a button to open up that wall. If Captain Harris will allow this.
As she knows what a mechanism is, she's seen inside of a clock. As she's speaking to the door itself, she notices what are mechanisms attached to the door and the wall underneath the ship itself. It's possible. Maybe this Thomas is right.
Maybe you're right, Master Thomas. To the helm! And so she scampers off like a very excited child royalty that she is, and approaches the helm and looks at it, and she just looks at this black, and then there's the steering wheel, and she touches the steering wheel, and like nothing happens. And she like jiggles it.
And yeah, she'll probably spend some time jiggling it, just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Are there any?
So, I'm gonna inspect this onyx box around the helm
Okay.
to see if there's anything about this that will help us open the door, or like see how it is integrated with the helm.
Sure. And Thomas, you were saying what, Paige?
Are there any plates that look like they could be shifted on the helm itself, or like, is it just like the helm, or is there other things around it? Like, could you put your hands next to this helm and like navigate it that way, or like Anything on the sides?
Surrounding it is all of the black obsidian-like
Stone.
like reflective stone. And she hasn't touched it yet. So far, only Kodrog has, I think.
Is the obsidian stone surrounding it?
You
said that you could you said you could duck under it. So it's like a DJ booth?
Yes.
With the helm in the middle? Okay,
Yes.
that helps me. So, are there any markings on it or anything?
There seems to be tiny ridges where these pieces of obsidian have been brought together. Very, very fine ridges.
So
Basically, like, chunks have been put together like tiles. Big, perfectly shaped tiles of obsidian.
Thomas will, run a finger down these, separation lines. And he'll go, And he'll look at the princess and he'll go, Princess Violet, I think, if I may, the plating around these obsidian tablets are very interesting. Normally, ships don't have something surrounding the helm, and he'll kind of position himself behind her and put his hands on the obsidian, like he can actually touch both.
Yeah,
of them.
you can.
And he'll mention that. He'll be like, "See how I can touch both sides."
So she
you might
takes
be
her
able
hands
to-
off the thing.
Yeah.
And listening to you, she just... And then, puts her hands on there and just kind of,
Rubs them around.
Yeah.
Lights dance underneath the obsidian as if it's clear glass on black. It illuminates from left to right, bouncing back and forth, ending in 3 small symbols.
Look at this. Look at this. And she's
It resonates back and forth as she plays like a drum, but only 3 symbols. A little past the helm on the left-hand side is the only thing that stays luminescent. When she pulls her hands away, they disappear.
What were the symbols? Are they letterings in any way?
It's the symbols in
Some-
Elven for moon, no go.
moon no and go, or moon no go?
Moon, no go.
Okay.
It's like, better yet, moon and the word stop. Or off.
Okay, so when we were looking at the switches, instead of it being power, it was
Sun
set
and
to the
moon.
moon. So that's how I would have described it to you, Thomas.
And you're looking at those same symbols that just appeared on the screen. They match.
Oh,
You're not stupid. You're like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
I've seen that before.
hold on, and I Superman back down into the engine room
Okay.
to flip the. Oh, but do they all have to be flipped in I don't know. So I'm just gonna flip it to sun.
You flick the switch to sun. The chambers that are to now your right begin to illuminate. The engines behind you begin making noise. The room
We just
suddenly
turned
lights
on
up.
the ship.
All right. You hear clicking noise, clanking noise. Things are active, moving about and whatnot. As the whole ship begins to pick up just a little bit. It moves out of its resting spot. The entire panel gains like an illumination that spreads across it. And as this wave of illumination spreads across this obsidian, you can see things glisten and glow. Words and information listen in Elven. Something that looks like a star chart. Something else that looks like a series of gemstones and lines.
So, yeah. Princess Violet is really excited about this, and she starts swirling her finger.
A whole bunch of stuff suddenly happens. The main sail begins to jerk back and forth. Several of the sails begin bulking underneath the actual housing of the ship, and the wheel turns on its own and locks in position and folds forward away from you guys.
And then she stops. She looks at Thomas like, Master Thomas, I think I broke it.
No, you're doing fine. He'll gently place his hands on top of hers to guide her,
The
and
panel-
he'll try to reverse the exact pattern of what she just did.
All right. The helm pops back towards you as you draw her hand back in a reverse circle. The things on the bottom side of the ship stop making noise. The entire panel illuminates for just a moment, and you see words all over the place. You think it's talking about some stuff. You're not sure what you see. You do notice it's sat there and says undock dock as an option, and right now it's in a dock. There's also an anchor position. and stuff like that. You see words that say anchor, yes or no, and yes is highlighted. You see dock position, dock, yes or no, and yes is position. Door position, closed, open, and closed is lit.
Okay.
So,
Everything
Kodrog-
now is staying lit on this black obsidian tablet.
So Kodrog has made his way from the engine room to poke his head back up out of the hatch. What's our status up there?
There's lots of light everywhere, says Princess Violet, shouting at you. I press
Thomas
buttons!
Thomas will look over and go, I found out how we can open up the door. I also found out how we can lift the anchor up and undock. But the thing is, I don't know how to navigate a ship, so you might want to do this.
Working
All right.
together.
Yeah. So
I'll
Kodrog.
help you translate words.
So Kodrog realizes this is his time. Sailmaster. Does Sailmaster actually navigate too? Or I guess on a smaller ship you have to.
Mhm.
Multiple
Yeah.
tasks.
Yeah, Sailmaster
So-
navigates and drives.
Oh man. Okay. So
You get to choose what radio station we listen to.
Yes.
Dang it!
Dwarven Public Radio.
No! Thomas
DPR.
is just in hell.
So so he comes up back to the helm, kind of like straightens himself up, realizes he still has a crossbow bolt in his chest. It's okay.
I totally forgot about that.
And he's like, so he turns to you, Thomas. I
Yeah.
need you to go to the engine room. Flip the switch for the anchor. It's the one in the middle.
Aye, Captain. And he'll he'll go on float on down, and he'll press it or flip it.
You flip it. There's a large metallic snap noise from the back of the ship. It sounded not okay when that
Yeah.
happened. But
Yeah,
the
I
ship
think-
seems to be floating freer now.
Thomas just kind of does it, and then he goes, ooh, and he like go back up, and he goes, hey, you know that symbol on your left hand? It kind of looks like a bird doing a little swoopity swoop over a thing. Yeah, that says anchor. You should probably have clicked that first.
She will press so Violet will be like, aye, Master Thomas, and presses the little swoopty swoop bird thing.
It makes a strange, massive clicking sound that repeats about a half dozen times before it stops, and some sort of large red banner scrolls across all of the obsidian plates.
I don't think it liked that.
I'll
There's a sound of metal on stone and clank and a bang noise. Through the back of the ship, you see a large metal weight kind of drifting through the gravityless space as the
Okay.
anchor drifts away from the boat.
So we've lost an anchor. I mean, worse things have happened.
Did it just detach? Thomas will go, oh, and he'll like, oh, can you press that button again? He'll like climb the steps and go back up to the helm to read this banner that went across this tablet.
It says anchor failure, and you see that the anchor is now on no, and a message is saying the anchor has been manually detached from the ship.
Thought so. Yeah, Thomas goes, yeah, we just detached the anchor.
Excellent.
do
so
we
we're
need-
undocked.
Do we need that?
Yeah.
There's 150
Well,
pounds of metal just drifting around the room at this time.
I think Thomas, he'll cast Mage Hand, which normally can only pick up like 5-pound things, but I'm thinking like,
If it
since there's no gravity, it can push.
Yes.
And he'll actually
save it?
like he'll try saving it.
Save the anchor.
I think
It's
also
nice.
I think also he'll suggest ropes. He'll go, okay, if tie it around my waist, I'll see if I can detach this thing. If not, then we don't have an anchor, but I'd rather have one.
the captain
In
can
case you
step
wanna
in
not.
and assist with that.
Yeah, it's not a problem with getting the anchor
Yeah.
back on. It's a
Yeah.
nice looking anchor.
Yeah.
They even made effort to make the anchor look nice.
It's beautiful. We can't leave it behind. We just have to attach it to the ship, and I'm sure that we'll get
Yes.
somebody to be able to fix it. Gaz can work miracles. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not elvish magic to like reattach an anchor.
Nope.
No,
You know.
it shouldn't
Oh,
be.
yeah.
God, I hope it's
okay.
not.
So we're unmoored.
Yeah, it's
The
now
ship is
drifting
now
around this
floating.
giant room.
No sign of a door opening.
Not yet.
Thomas will as he's helping Jason out with reattaching this anchor or saving it, he'll yell over. He goes, "The right-hand side, there should be a symbol that looks like, say whatever. Because that's the door. You just touch that and it should open it."
Oh, aye, Master Thomas! And she pushes her fingers down on that button, and the doors. You hear this.
Stars and blackness before you. The stonework disappears quickly as the two large 1,000-pound easily slabs of stone fold out in front of you. The air inside the room gently pushes outward, dragging the ship since it's no longer anchored. You begin drifting down the docking platform. Magically, some other listed thing suddenly changes colors and words. You don't know exactly what it means because the elf reader isn't over here.
Sorry.
He's currently
Okay.
But you are moving forward. As it moves forward, near the back of the ship, the tiller sails are now in control of the helm. The masts themselves, as you begin unroll, you jump down you have to give instructions to tell somebody, undo the mast. Let's do this thing. We're going to get in control. We're about to get into the wind.
So the captain quickly takes off of his heavy coat and
stripping down to nothing more than a shirt.
And the what is it? The thing that holds his pistols and stuff, his bandolier.
Weapon belt.
Yeah, his weapon belt.
Yeah.
Like takes out, rolls up his sleeves real quick, and jumps up into the rigging and starts
grab lines.
working the lines.
So I'm taking the main mast and instructing the captain on what I need him to do to coordinate with the foremast. So that when we get out into the void, we can catch a wind and sweep back over to the Amber Falls and see if she's done with her good work.
And
Thomas
the captain will call out, "Aye, aye."
Yeah, he's like, "Aye, aye, Master Kodrog."
That's
It's
awkward.
little dwarf teeth, like little diamond dusts.
Thomas will kind of run over to the helm and start reading whatever else popped up.
It says, "Hey, by the way, you undocked. You didn't give the undocking signal. I just want to let you know that's not okay. That's not following procedure. You didn't unanchor. You actually detached the anchor. That's not okay. The power system below. Everything's messed up. There's so many things wrong. Wrong. Somebody is manually doing this. And it's just like all sorts of complaints and errors, and that's what it's referring to as errors and failure of this system over the place."
It's like Apollo 13 on that control panel.
Now, the princess, on the other hand, thinks this is brilliant because it's just this crimson reds are all over the place. It's like Christmas lights.
Yeah,
It's so very
beautiful.
cool.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
We're flying a ship, Master Thomas.
Yep. And he's like reading. He'll
ship.
tell Kodrog. He'll start pointing out the different errors, and he says, "Is there anything that you think that I would need to do below?"
No,
thing-
Thomas. Thomas. Just stay at the helm and come around to 15 degrees. Port.
So one of the things you do see, like it's actually underneath the main panel. There's a what do you call it? A little panel that you can open, and it has like a little thing. So you see that there's like a flashing light on this panel down on the right hand side, like right in front of where Violet is right now. So you didn't see it before because she was
it's
standing
dark
there.
down there.
Is there any lettering around it?
Yes, it says manual override.
Thomas will just go manual override out loud, and he'll like be looking down at his button.
What's actually a lever? Like you pull on the lever, you twist it, and let it go.
Kodrog. I mean, Master Kodrog. Would you like me to initiate the manual overdrive for you?
Manual override. Overdrive would be
Override,
terrifying.
Let's go faster.
Manual override.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure, okay. Alright, Thomas will hesitantly pull it and then follow the twist and do it.
You ever been in an older model vehicle where it's the pull latch for popping the hood, and you have to give it a quick yank.
Yep.
Then it goes
Yep.
poosh, and it's like pushes on you for a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. And then when you let it go, it spins and pops in. The entire panel in front of you goes black. Kodrog, you find that the controls are no longer resisting you. Moving the sales lines is great. You begin getting everything latched with the captain quickly. As all of a sudden the foremast that Jason is on grabs wind and begins to billow. The whole ship gets pulled out into the blackness of the void. The doors begin closing behind you. And as they seal together, they disappear into the face of the hold. As if they never existed.
Whew.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Man.
Thomas will, as he's seeing this, and will look at the lever again, and he goes, "You know, I think the elves made this vehicle so they could have it easier on them. We're so used to being manual with our ships. I don't think they had to do anything. They just pressed a button and had it. Doing that, I think, allowed us to actually manually navigate it."
Man, a ship sailing itself? What's the fun in that?
Luxury.
Kodrog like swings past on a rope to the other mast. Things tied off.
The ship drifts into the winds. They grasp it gently. Kodrog, you move to the helm. She flies beautifully. You've been on a lot of ships. She's very smooth. The sound of cannon fodder. The sounds of cannons no longer echo in the distance. Harris calls. Hard to starboard. Let's head around the back of the hold, see if we can catch up to the Amber Falls. Let's go home. And with
Aye,
that,
Captain, and I flick the wheel.
our game is over tonight.
Whew.
Yay!
Yay! Thank
No
you.
one died.
Thank you for sticking around.
Oh my goodness, I apologize about the time, people. We got really into this.
Oh man, for a second I was like, maybe I'm at 9. I don't know.
It went over 8, and I was like, wait, did we end at 9 or 8? And I was like,
I know.
oh well.
It was
I'm
such
so
a fun
sorry.
game. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
So,
So very sorry about dragging
we'll
you guys
work
out.
on it. Like we wanted to finish this up.
This was very important.
We wanted to end here. Get to at least this stopping point.
Yeah.
And
And
so
you
thank
guys
you
were
for
having
sticking
fun with
around.
this.
And thank everyone else. Thank you guys for sticking with us.
Yeah,
past
thank
our
you so
time.
much.
We appreciate it. So as we wrap up, so let's go ahead and replug our stuff.
Yeah.
Paige, you got the most stuff. You go first.
I do. First things first, because I'm not selfish. Anarchy. This Monday, join us. We start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's our 18th episode. And we haven't really done much in December, mainly because of illness due to 2 players. But that's okay. They're better now, I think. So hopefully we'll actually go. We're still in Rome. We're fighting, or rather, we just picked up a rollerblader.
Okay.
Walter, we did. But I can't. I'm trying to think of details, and my bladder's bursting, so I'm a little.
Oh, let's hurry then.
Go for it. Go for it.
Pitch,
But
pitch, pitch.
anyway, so I play Walter, the cybernetic, completely cyber chick with daddy issues. She's a street sam. She's great.
Excellent.
The other thing that I do is artwork, which you can find on Instagram or Twitter. You can also on Instagram if you actually want a commission and or a piece of art that you see in my Instagram that you actually like. Please contact me through either messaging or I actually have my business email there, so you can contact me through there too. That's all I think I have, other than Shattered Isles, which I think we're going to go on a mini vacay. I'm going to go pee.
Yeah, go for it.
Bye.
Bye.
Go.
I won't leave the call, but I'll just mute myself.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you for listening to my pitch.
John, do you got anything else for us to do?
Oh man,
And then
so
your
I guess since
super
there
secret
was
project.
since there was the little spoiler alert, stay tuned. Sometime after the new year on the original box set channel, you may see some Lord of the Rings themed Dungeons and Dragons run by yours truly, and it'll be my very first game ever running a group. So yeah, it'll be exciting. Stick around, tune in if you love Lord of the Rings as much as I do, or half as much, or a quarter as much, or not at all, and you just want to hang out with us.
Totally. I'm going to be playing a rider of Rohirrim. Did I say it right?
Rohan.
Rohan.
Riders of Rohan.
I'm sorry.
Did you know?
I'm going to play Riders of Rohan, and I am a specialist deliverer. I'm a postman. I'm a postman. I deliver people's mail. It's going to be fun. I'm just like a guy with a horse, and it's really cool. I'm excited about my character.
Yes. So I haven't figured out what I'm playing yet, but I'm really liking the Warden. More on
It's
that.
a really interesting system. Anyways, now it's our turn to pitch some other stuff real quick.
So yeah, next year, original box set, we're gonna pick up on our Iron Kingdoms game in January. I don't know what date yet, but sometime in January. Looking at calendar.
Calendar says
probably either the 6th or the 13th.
I think it's the 13th.
So that's when we're picking back up our stuff on our channel. The original box set, which I put in Twitch in the chat already. So that's what we're going to be starting with. Mm-hmm. Then we'll probably pick up some Shadowrun and
something else. Whatever. We'll have some fun.
We'll
you guys come
out.
hang out with us.
And then on this channel, like Paige said, Monday there's going to be Join the Anarchy, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. There's also going to be on Sunday. Tomorrow is going to be the what do you call that stuff? Starfinder!
Yeah, the Starfinder.
Stellar Drift is going to be tomorrow, and I can't find the freaking schedule for it, but it's going to be...
There it is.
Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time is when they're going to be starting, and if you like space stuff, it'll be like your space stuff weekend. Ours is fantasy space stuff. Theirs is future space stuff. They're both awesome.
Yep.
So...
And if you're in Australia, 3 p.m. is earlier than coffee time, so that's double coffee time.
Double coffee time. Radio, that's for you. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
I want to jump in real quick. Palmer, at the beginning you asked why is the Pathfinder system in Imperial? That's because it was written in America, and most Americans easily identify with the Imperial system, not the metric system. It depends on the Game Master and whether or not it is European. We can talk more about that later. Reach out to me. There's a lot of reach out points in our Facebook, Twitter, and other stuff. Yeah, cool beans. I'm done.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. You all have a fantastic evening, because we're sure gonna. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you not in 2 weeks, but in 3 weeks on January 5th. Okay, so put that on your calendars. We're gonna put it on ours. January 5th is when you'll see us again, and we will be able to finally reunite the captain and Kodrog and Thomas with the rest of the crew of the Ember Falls and see what Larry's been up to.
Heck yeah!
Until then, we will see you next time. Enjoy. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, all the celebrations.
Happy Hanukkah.
Enjoy them with the people you love.
Happy Kwanzaa.
And exactly. And we will,
Happy solstice.
you can tell us about your adventures.
Oh yeah.
When we come back.
We should really start chatting more with these people in like our Twitch and our Twitter and Facebook. Yeah. Join us on Facebook.
Join us on Facebook.
Start a conversation with me. It's like the only Facebook page I actually look at is our original box set. It's so boring over there. Nobody talks to me. Actually, that's a lie. A lot of people talk to me.
Are we good now?
I'm done.
Did you?
Yeah, that's it. That was good.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.